I was just turned onto this last week, this MXLR tire glue. This is what I'll be using on my sidewalls from now on. I might be able to do tire repairs with it too, but it doesn't have as fine of a tip. So for super glue, I like the Loctite stuff. You know that they sell a lot of it, so it's always going to be fresh. You can get the little tips on Amazon for a bag of 100 for like $10 or something. So I use that super glue for gluing sidewalls if I'm using CA, but this MXLR stuff seems really cool. It doesn't start flaking off and cracking like CA does. So all right, so now that those tires are all evened up down to appropriate sizes, we're gonna take the two front tires and show you how I do my sidewall glue using this MXLR Max Mockler glue. So one thing I wish I had for these was smaller tips. Actually, maybe I do. Let's see if these other black tips fit. Oh, that's encouraging. Cool. So yeah, that's great. I really like that little metal tip. It's very helpful for spreading the glue. All right, so I have this rad little tire sidewall glue motor. This is something my friend made for me, or made for a bunch of us. So either you have really cool friends to get one of these, or there's several companies selling them. I know I saw a couple different ones on EA Motorsports website the other day. I think they were out of stock, but yeah, they're out there. It's a super handy tool if you're doing anything with carpet tires. So I like to run a little bead of glue kind of around the top of the wheel, and then I use the side of the metal tip to kind of push the glue out. And then I might add a little bit more. I'm not really putting a lot of pressure on it. Maybe I can zoom in here. I can't zoom in, so I move the camera a little closer. You don't want to go too thick. You just want a nice layer. Watch for pushing it down into the rim so you don't build up a bunch of glue in your wheel. So we get a nice layer on there, and I just push it right up to the edge. This is why I like not rounding the front outside very much, because the glue wants to be flat. And it's a lot harder for it to wear evenly if you round your tire and then you have this rounded super glue on there, or sidewall glue. So yeah, that's done. And we'll do the other one. That MXLR sidewall glue doesn't work with zip kicker. I recommended against it earlier anyway. So yeah, glue's not as good if you're in a rush, if you need to get the tires on your car for the next run. So super glue and zip kicker probably has its place still. Sometimes we're thrashing. It took me a little while to figure out how to use one of these tools, because I used to do it the old-fashioned way and just kind of manually rotate the tire around and spread it and rotate and spread and rotate. And the first time I tried to use the tool, I felt disabled. So they take a little figuring out, but once you figure it out and you got your method, dialed in. It's just so much easier and so much faster. One of the best tools I own. Okay, now that this sidewall glue has air dried, one final step before it's ready for the track, or two, but one minimum, is take a little bit of 400 grit sandpaper and smooth out the surface of that thing. Some guys will throw these one step further onto like a tire, tire sanding tool or back on the truer to to buzz the sidewall glue with, on the truer and really like polish it. I don't feel like doing that, so I'm just gonna smooth it a little bit with the 400 grit and call it good. Yeah, it's not quite as like perfectly smooth, but it is smooth and it'll do the job. If you are gonna throw it back on the truer to do that polishing final stage, I would, or on a sanding tool, I would make your glue a little bit thicker so you got some more room to work with. If you're just kind of taking the rough stuff off with your hand, I don't think you need to go as thick. So the idea being that, as that glue contacts the racing surface, it's not getting caught on anything. So there's some theory that, sometimes the glue breaks up because it's snagging the carpet, hitting some hard edges in there. But so far I've had way better luck with this non-super glue, non-CA MXLR sidewall glue. And that's really nice, because that was one of the more annoying things to me, was just how super glue would break down and start to flake. And I don't have enough experience with this yet to say just how long it lasts, but initial results are very encouraging. So you can see how these look. So yeah, these are ready for the track. I wasn't satisfied with just the hand sanding, so I chucked it up. I put a little bit more glue on there and chucked it up on the tire truer and hit it with 400 grit sandpaper, and I was able to get this really nice polished sidewall. See, the glue's flexible and super shiny, super smooth. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing. There's your finished product.